This is an Elddis Jamaica 540, going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got the jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these in person here on site. On the front of the van we've got a gas regulator. Pipe work is available here on site should you need it, that connects to the top of the regulator and then to the top of the gas bottles itself. The maximum gas bottles you can carry on board the van is 2 6kg propane gas bottles. On either side of the caravan at the front, you've got the 2 wind down legs to stabilise the van, and like I said, they are just there for stabilising, they are not designed for lifting the caravan at all. Next up is the heating and hot water gas flue. You have to remove the cover, this cover here, every time you ignite something on gas inside of the caravan, but we do advise you to get into a habit of doing it when you arrive on site every time, because then if you ever need to ignite anything, you know it's off and ready to be used. Next up, we've got the water pump connection for the caravan. Very simple to use as well. You've got a trigger here, you press down and push into the side of the caravan, and you've got the water pump that drops down inside the aqua roll itself. And we'll show you how to fill the water system once we go inside of the caravan. You then got your motor mover and wheel nuts. We'll put a battery on to demonstrate the motor mover to you when you arrive here on site, just so you can see everything is working as it should, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts prior to you taking the caravan away. Just here you have your toilet flush tank, so you'd open this cap up with the key and you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette. You very simply pull up the yellow handle at the bottom and pull the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away, and then you've got a cap here that measures your pink and your blue fluid. On the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Before you use this cassette you'll need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid. At the back of the van you've got your storage for underneath the bed at the rear of the van, and you have the same on the opposite side in the same location. Fresh water that goes in the front of the caravan has to come out somewhere, and at the back of the caravan here that's what these 2 grey pipes are for. Look a bit like exhaust pipes, but you'd have 2 bits of grey pipe that go into the larger diameter circle holes, and they drop down inside a waste master. Also on the back of the van you have 2 more wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while you're on site. That's your storage locker front of the bed this side, and then coming further up you have your 2 fridge vents. 2 fridge vents are simply there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in, and behind one of those there'll also be a gas flue. You've then got your battery box on the side of the caravan. Like I said, we'll put one on here before you arrive on site so we can demonstrate the motor mover, but that will come off after the demonstration has been done. You've then got your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan, your wind down leg on this side front of the van, the awning warmer, so essentially if you've got the heating on inside the caravan you can set it so it comes out into your awning as well, and then you have your barbecue gas point at the front of the van. Simply take the red cap off and push the fitting in place, and then you'd need to turn the gas supply on by turning the valve 90 degrees. Going inside the caravan now. As you come in the door on the left hand side you have your 12 volt power switch, so you can turn your power supply on and off on the switch just here for your 12 volt lighting. That will control all of the 12 volt lighting inside of the caravan, and also turn on the main power to the van if you have it on. So the on position is pointing down. The first thing you're going to do is fill the water system up. So on the outside, as you can see, we'd already connected our aqua roll, so we can fill the water system up. Then underneath the seat on the right hand side front of the caravan, so underneath the seat, as you can see in the far front right hand corner of the van, you have this yellow valve. Now that yellow valve is what we call a drain down valve. That yellow valve, prior to filling the water system, needs to be parallel with the floor as it is now. If that valve was pointing upright towards the bottom of our seat, it would drain all of the water out of the system on board the caravan. Like I said, valve parallel with the floor prior to filling the system. At that point then, we can come over to every tap on board the caravan, open the taps up on the hot side as you go around the van. As you can see here, the hot side of the water system, and then we turn on our water pump, which is just on the wall just here. So we've got our switch there, this one here, that we turn on to make the water pump run. Once the water system is full, you'll have water running out of every tap on board the caravan continuously. You then shut every tap back off on the caravan, as at that point the water system is completely full. At that point, once the water system is full, you'll be able to warm the water on either electric, which is just here, so you turn the switch on, and it'll allow the water system to warm up to around 35 to 40 degrees. If you want to boost the water system, or if you're off grid with no power available, you'll use gas to warm the water up. Now you need to make sure the gas is turned on in the front locker. You'll spin the dial round to the gas symbol or the flame symbol on the side here, and the green light indicates a pilot light. Once it's ignited, you can control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees. If it fails to ignite on gas, you'll actually get a red light appear behind here. Like I said, if you're off grid or trying to boost the shower boost the water system for showering, you will need to have this gas option turned on. Like I said, the green light is your pilot light, but if the red light is on as well, then it has failed to ignite. The reason it's done that at the moment for is because we've got no gas on board the van. To control the water temperature, you have a dial here in the centre between 30 and 70 degrees. Depending on where you want the temperature to be, of the water, you'll put the number or the dot, essentially that's half, so 65, 70 for instance. You'll put the number you want over the green light, and that is the temperature the water system will warm up to. You can turn it off by spinning the dial back to the off position just here. Then to the right hand side of that, we've got the control for the electric heating. So you'll need the switch on the right hand side here. You'll need to select the relevant power source down the side of 500, 1000 or 2000. Here on site we can run a maximum of 1000 watts. We're just going to run it on 500 for now to demonstrate it. But essentially you'll need to select the correct amount of power that's coming into the caravan from the caravan site you are on. You'll then control the heater temperature or the thermostat temperature on the dial in the centre here. You can turn off the heater by spinning it back to the off position in the centre just there. You could also run the heater on gas. On top of the heater, you have a dial here to turn on the gas supply. Spin it round to between 10 and 9, the dial. Push down the gas valve and hit the igniter. Once it's ignited, you'll continue to hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve. You'll be able to control the temperature on the dial on top once it has been running for that 5 to 10 seconds. To turn it off, you spin it back to the off position just here. In the front of the heater, you actually have your pilot light, which allows you to see when the heater has ignited on gas. On the left hand side, you have your option to run blown air heating. So you've got continuous blown air here just on the left hand side. The dot in the centre tells you the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. And on the right hand side, you have a thermostated blown air, which means that the blown air will kick in and out with the thermostat on board the caravan. So essentially, as the caravan warms up, the heat will start coming out the vents, and if it was then when it got too warm, it cut itself out and the heat would stop blowing around the van. You have got a fan speed dial on top here, a bit like you've got in your car, and again these work very similar to your car. So like I said, wave symbol is continuous blown air, and the heat will come out the vents around the caravan. That's them two white fitments either side of that cupboard at the front there. We go to the fridge now. The fridge is very simple to use again. You've got the off position just here. Got the option to run it on gas, which self-ignites as long as you hold in the button on the right hand side here, the temperature control. And when it has ignited, as long as the gas is turned on or connected, this little red line here will come round into the green. You'll hold in this gas valve and continue to hold it in until that line is completely in the green. You'll then continue to hold it for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve when it has been in that green zone for 5 to 10 seconds. You control the temperature on gas or electric on this dial on the right hand side. You've got 240 mains, which is your mains temperature control for the fridge, mains power supply for the fridge, and again you control it on the dial on the right hand side. You've then got the option to run 12 volt mains, so you can spin the dial around to the 12 volt symbol just here, and that will allow the fridge to work from the 12 volt supply on the car you're towing with. It'll essentially make the fridge work as a cool box, so when you arrive on site, the beer and wine's nice and cold. You would need the right connection on your car for that to work, the same as the battery charging as you are towing down the road. Off position for the fridge is back round to the 0 on the right hand side. Hob, grill and oven all work very much the same as your household appliances, with your igniter on the front. The last thing we go through on this caravan is the toilet system. You have no pump flush on the toilet, so you have pump up and down to flush your toilet system. You have a toilet full indicator light on the right hand side top here. That will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat does turn for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you need to remove the waste cassette from underneath the caravan, you'll make sure this toilet seat is back in the central position. Below the toilet, you'll see a grey handle, and that is the waste handle essentially. That waste handle needs to be open before you use the loo. Then when you're done, we do advise you close it back up so no smells come inside the caravan. You will also need to make sure this is in the closed position when you remove the cassette, because again, it will lock the cassette in place. So this is the Elddis Jamaica. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.